I do date, and it is damn difficult. Like, bandlala, mal. I'm heartbroken. I don't sleep. Like, this topic tense. Like, like, I need a massage. Not everyone can advise you about relationships. I'm sorry. Do not compare yourself with other people. It's very difficult to resist the temptation of centering relationships, especially romantic relationships. If you have secrets, why are you getting married? If you want to keep secrets, don't get married. Relationships can cause depression and anxiety. And like, we can just say, man, just tell the truth and stop being a sissy. But like, rejection, abandonment, those are very real psychological fears. Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Shika, and this channel is all about mental health and lifestyle. A bit about me: I am an occupational therapist. For those who don't know, I do occasionally do all types of OT, but my favorite, the one I focus the most on, is mental health. Today we're going to be talking about a very controversial topic, and I have never met someone in my life or even on the internet or heard of someone who is an absolute master at this. Like, someone who is wonderful at this practically in their day-to-day life. We're going to be talking about romantic relationships and how they affect your mental health. So, I'm going to start by painting the backdrop, Obviously I'm black, as you can see, so I'm going to be talking a lot about dating in the African community because that's what I've seen. I'm going to be talking a little bit about marriage and some of the strains that are placed on African marriages, and I hope I can think of some of the advantages of getting married in a collectivist culture. So I just want to put a disclaimer out there that I am 25, I'm married, I do date, and it is damn difficult. Like, bandlala, mal. And you know what? It's not even about being played sometimes. It's just really, this is the perfect place to start actually. You are taking two people who have met under extraordinary circumstances, because it doesn't matter the club, at spa when you're buying bread, a friend of a friend, a cousin of a cousin, whatever, whatever your limits are. Maybe you guys are in the same faculty or the same university. Maybe he goes to the university that's nearby in the city you're in. I mean, people meet in weird and wonderful ways. And another disclaimer, I am heterosexual, so I will be talking a lot about that, but I think some of these principles apply to members of the queer community, and I don't want to say or speak on their behalf, but I also want to say that just because we're not talking about queer relationships specifically, that these relationships don't exist or don't matter. They do. Mjolo, as they call it, or dating, is difficult because you're taking two people from completely different upbringings. Like, I don't care how much you guys have in common. I don't care that he grew up next door to you, your parents were in the same church, you worked exactly the same jobs, it's just, no two people can be that similar. Like, I compare myself to my siblings. I'm one of 4. We were raised by the same people at different times in their lives, and that has made us completely different people. So you're taking two people who like each other, who are most likely sexually attracted to each other, and you're trying to bring them together into a relationship. And where I'm from, relationships generally lead to marriage, or that's the mindset I'm told to have. But I mean, I'll be honest, in varsity, I genuinely didn't think any of the guys I was dating or interested in I'd marry. I mean, I was 21. Of course I had fantasies, but in real life, I knew that this was like, if I meet someone else, maybe. Like, I don't think this is it. So you're taking, for example, a guy and a girl, bringing them together. asking them to love and accept each other unconditionally for a period of time or for long term. And it's a mess. Like, I sit back and I think like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And I come from the Christian community, and you know, when I was growing up and even in varsity, I would see these couples, Jackie Hill Preston and the husband, this person and the husband, and you know, these couples are in ministry. They always have like 4 kids. I don't know what it is about Christians and having a lot of kids, but they have a lot of kids. Also maybe because they're quite moneyed. I also listen to dating podcasts on marriage, and I'm just like, yo, guys, almost every adult that I've had in the consulting room or even virtually, you know, doesn't matter, in therapy, one or two things is true. Their partner is helping them be mentally healthier, or their partner is worsening their mental health. And I know we think that, okay, if you date someone pretty selfish, ungenerous, with high expectations, a taker basically, that you know, you're dating a guy who's worsening your mental health. But that's not always the case. And how can I put this? Like, let's say you're a girl and you're dating this guy, and like he comes from a unique circumstance. I mean, this is not about us judging whether these things are valid or not. These things happen. Let's say you go to visit your friend from uni, maybe she's from rural Limpopo. While you're there, you meet a family friend of hers, you fall in love with this guy, and you know, you go back to your varsity, you guys start dating long distance, and then maybe something happens in his life, or something happens in his life and he's just not available like he used to be, or he's only available at night, or he's only available in the morning. I don't know, guys, you know, you've experienced this stuff, like, you know what I'm saying. And it's so easy. I do it all the time, and I don't know if it's right or wrong. It's so easy to just say, you know what, if he wanted to, he would. If he's committed, he'll show the commitment. I think there is an overrepresentation of heterosexual female heartbreak, to the point that, you know, single women can be a little bit cynical. And you know, it's in reality, like, this is real life now. I'm not talking about what we see on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter. In real life, relationships are about partnership. And think about having a business partner. Maybe he's good at accounting and you're good at marketing, and you're the one that's client facing and he's the one who's crunching the numbers and submitting this and that and this. He's gonna have bad days. He's gonna forget to submit some forms, even if he's the best accountant. Like, you go into the workplace and you know that there are people who are very brilliant and competent, but they're not like that every day. There are just times in someone's life where they're just not giving 100%. It could be because of a medical issue. It could be because of a masculinity issue. It could be because of a femininity issue. It could be an overcompensation of something. It could be people pleasing. It could be so many things, guys, honestly. And like, when you truly get to know someone, personally for me, it can be really hard to accept that they're just a human being. You know, it can be really hard to accept that this man is in my life and like, he's not sending me flowers with those 200 rand notes, and I can claim that I'm above it. You know, like, I don't really need that. I don't need ABC. But there's definitely a lot of pressure in relationships, and I really can't tell you if people should hold on to each other and work on things together, or people should let go and grow individually. You know, that's the thing. People have such different beliefs about this. And, you know, I've heard of girls who know this guy from church, and she got a prophetic word that this man is going to be the man that marries her, and genuinely think those things are harmful. Basically, relationships are hard, you know, and we think just because we're black, we're gonna get along. You know, you had a strict mom, I had a strict mom. Oh yeah, black moms do that. Some people grew up without a mom. They were raised by their uncle. Some people have experienced significant trauma that they actually don't call trauma. They just call a normal day. And you know what? It's actually very difficult, that one, because I know someone who believes like he's a pretty normal, okay person, but like if I look too deeply with the mental health stuff, I can see some things there, and then it's always a question of like, do you help someone get through something, or do you leave someone alone so that they can get through that thing and you guys get back together? It's very difficult, and it's worse when you have children, or he's met your family, or he's taken out, or he started the lobola process. It's, or someone falls pregnant. Someone falling pregnant can be so hard on a couple that they actually never recover. And that's the thing. We can say, oh no, don't fall pregnant until you're married. Guys, that sometimes doesn't happen. That often doesn't happen. And I think definitely as a Christian, there are many things that I've done to prevent or avoid hypothetical negative things happening to me. Some of it I'm grateful for, but like now in my mid-20s, I'm having to deconstruct, like, if someone smokes cigarettes and they genuinely got hooked on them during teenage years or later or before, are they the scum of the earth? Is it really something worth breaking up over? I even want to say, like, sometimes people have not so great relationships, like mediocre, moderate relationships, but like obviously the way we narrate things to our friends and our family, people are very quick to form opinions. That's just how our brain works. When I'm like, my boyfriend didn't call, you're already thinking something negative. And it could be, my boyfriend didn't call because he was literally so tired, and when you got home there was load shedding. Or my boyfriend didn't call because, even though he has time, he wants to spend quality time. Or my boyfriend didn't call because when he has time, he's thinking about other things. He struggles to make me a priority. Or it could be my boyfriend doesn't believe in calling girls because of whatever reason, It's tough because the chances of being played and dogged out and the chances of being happy are difficult to determine. And like the only time I'm like, you need to leave this relationship, I'm saying it for damn sure, like you need to go, is in the case of extreme physical abuse. I know emotional abuse is harmful and financial abuse. I know it. I know in a perfect world we should say to clients, dump him. Get over it. Dump your wife, divorce her. But like people have vested interests in each other, and separating that is not always easy. And I think the thing that people also don't understand is motho wa Modimo. I don't know how to put this in English. Motho wa Modimo, like God is the only one who can actually do something about someone's behavior, if we're being honest. Like, some things are really just a matter of miracles and faith. And if you watch a lot of movies, a lot of people describe love as this miraculous, life-giving emotion or experience, and I kind of agree. Because, some people just get their life together after meeting the correct partner. But some people meet the partner who, we could argue is the love of their life. Like in the case of my parents. And honestly, despite everyone's efforts, like it just doesn't come together. And we can say like, yeah, your dad should have done A, B, C, D. And of course I agree from a layman's perspective. Now that I look back, I'm like, I genuinely believe there were things in his psyche that made that kind of thing impossible. And my mother would have never known. Like what, what I mean? Does that mean they were never meant to meet? Does that mean they should have gone to marriage counseling? Does that mean they should have never involved religion in their marriage? Does that mean they had kids too soon, too quickly? Does that mean they had too much faith in their middle class lifestyle, which couldn't sustain them, to be honest? And that's another thing that is such a, oh my gosh, this topic. I could go on and on and on. Like, Now I'm just talking about relationships. I'm not even talking about the mental health component, which is anxiety, not sleeping, worrying yourself to death, trying to predict the future, trying to, what I do? If I have plans with someone and they can't confirm immediately if they'll be able to make it, I just decide in my mind they're not going to make it. And can you hear how crazy that is? Like, you have a partner, someone you want to marry, probably someone you really like, and you can't have faith in them over. And I'm not talking about like, I'm kidnapped by thieves. If he doesn't send 7,000 rand tonight, I'm dead. I'm talking about someone saying, maybe I'll pass by after work. For me, it can feel like a literal emergency. Flight or fight is activated. I am not relaxed. It's bad. That's why I sometimes take rescues. Do I have? Okay, no, I don't have rescues. It's these natural supplement thingies, and they help me calm down because I'm really mentally ill. Trying to explain that to someone who doesn't have anxiety is difficult's not even the word. It's like trying to explain to a man what being a woman is like. They get it, but they don't get it. Their suggestions are very well-intentioned, but not very practical. Like, I've heard people say, oh, you're a woman, you don't feel safe, take self-defense classes. Where am I gonna find self-defense classes? Okay, what if I don't want to fight people? What if I just want to live in a world where people don't pose an immediate threat to my livelihood, to my life? Not even livelihood, my life. And like, this is what's difficult, that compromise, that dance of, I understand what you're going through, but I'm also far away from you. This is a you thing, but this is also affecting us. Okay, there are things I can do to ease your experience, but should I? And people have really different beliefs. I'm a very passionate person. I view the world between good and evil. Like, for me, you're either God's friend or God's enemy. And I've had to go to therapy to try and like close that gap a little bit. But I mean, I've been in therapy for years, and I genuinely think, like, without me consciously trying to give people grace, I'm very harsh and I'm very strict, and I feel like people should know how to act. And people say this a lot, hey? Like, you should know how to act. But you know what I've learned? I don't know how to act. I don't know how to be sensitive to people's feelings. I don't know how to show up when I don't feel like it. I mean, like, today I was supposed to film a video and I just wanted to sleep. Like, and I felt justified. Obviously I'm filming now, but when I was sleeping, I felt justified. I felt like this is the right choice for me. And yeah, so with mental health and relationships, the only thing I can say is we need to be open-minded. As people who are in relationships, it's hard. It's really the most hard thing we can do, but we cannot take a moral high ground. No relationship is perfect. No person is perfect. So I think that's the first thing. Being open-minded and being judgmental is not the right word. Not having a moral high ground, okay? So if you have these two things, you also need to know when to apply grace and forgiveness and when to introduce boundaries and consequences, because it's not a boundary if there are no consequences. If I say in my car, if you're driving with me, you have to put your seatbelt on, and people don't put their seatbelts on, but I still drive off. I'm just a person who says things. But if I sit in the car and refuse to start the car, refuse to start the car until people put on their seatbelts, then there's a consequence. So having that skill, and it takes time, having grace, and I think at the end of it, like, building community around us. Community is made up of people who love you and who accept you, but they tell you the truth and they don't let you thrive in your toxicity. I mean, this is a message to the girls, okay? As women, we need to get a little bit more comfortable having hard conversations. And I'm singling out girls or women because I'm a girl/woman. Like, if we get into the psyche of masculinity, we'll be here 15 hours, okay? It's, if you think women are complicated, try and understand masculinity. It's literally I prefer talking to women because I do think there's a bit of flexibility there that sometimes doesn't exist in men. Not all men, but not all women, so it's got that thing. The reason I'm calling out women, because I'm in community with a lot of women. These women help me. They give me perspectives. And I know I'm not thriving or doing well in relationships when I stop talking about the person I'm dating, when I hide the things he does, when I don't want to sense the disapproval or disappointment of my friend. And guys, your friends are not going to approve of your partner's habits all the time. It's just part of the deal. And another thing, no one is the master of this thing. However, I think we can agree that some people are in healthier relationships than others. So it's always a good idea to surround yourselves with those people if you have a teachable spirit. But if you don't have a teachable spirit, stay where you are. Because if you're with people who hold you accountable, who communicate with you, who really want to see you grow and thrive and succeed, you're going to be uncomfortable a lot. You're going to be saying things like, friend, I know, but I love him. It's going to be really uncomfortable. And once we have community, we can get it right. So regarding dating and mental health, see your psychologist, guys. It doesn't matter if you don't have this big significant trauma. It doesn't matter if you're not in an abusive relationship. You need to see a psychologist anyway, I believe, just so that you can work through your childhood and understand why you're the person that you are. So in the case that you have children, you can really be for them and really break those cycles. You don't have to wait until a relationship is on the brink of divorce and then go to couples counseling. It can be too late sometimes. So I encourage young people, just check in with people professionally, even if you're not going to go every month, maybe once every 3 months. Come back, talk. It helps you define and understand your values. It helps you challenge the narratives society puts in your head, because when I'm in the consulting room with men, I have to remind them that just because you believe something, it doesn't make it true. So there has to be a difference in our minds between beliefs and facts. And I do find that men struggle a lot with this. They believe that women are whatever. You can insert that thing. Women are ABC. And when you try and explain to them that some women are ACB or CAB, it's very difficult for them to wrap their minds around that. Not all men, but those things. It's important to continually challenge our ideals, challenge our romanticism, literally. Because let me tell you, all of us, maybe not all of us, a lot of people put all their hopes and dreams into eventually having a good, loving partner and getting married and having kids. So it's worthwhile to explore that with a professional. From my personal experience, boys will make you cry, and you can interpret that however you want. But I'm not too upset by that, because crying is very good for me. Obviously it's not ideal, but when it happens, I do feel better. And crying shows me that I'm interested in someone. So if I'm crying every once in a while, maybe it's orange flag. But if I'm crying every day, maybe there's a problem. Maybe I'm not communicating my needs. Maybe my needs aren't being met. So with relationships, guys, I could go on and on and on and on and on and on, literally forever. Our parents married people they didn't know. Nearly long distance, and no the people couldn't live together. People didn't spend all their time texting. People didn't have common TV shows. They married people they didn't know. And it's a 50-50 once again. Half of the people kind of made it through, half of the people didn't, half of the people were really helped by church, half of the people were hurt by church, half of the people, it's really dicey. Like, it's a gamble, and if you have psychological resilience, mental health resilience, like you are a kind of person that can go through challenges without developing significant mental health problems. This means that you don't get sad, you don't get angry, you don't have a psychotic episode. And for younger people who are not married or who don't have kids, there's a lot less pressure. And that's why we see older women in their 40s and 50s. And I'm going to talk about women, because with men, I don't even know where to start. I'm going to talk about women. And just because I'm making what seems like negative comments towards women, just know that with men it's worse. I'm not saying men are perfect. Women are often very unhappy, especially in their 40s and 50s. And you see it in the workplace. They're really bullies, narcissistic, or they're people pleasers. I know this one lady, she's such a people pleaser. Like, she will burn the people who are consistently there for her, who love her, to protect people who don't give a damn about her. And that's a very common cycle in abusive relationships, or people who have experienced abuse. They spend a lot of their energy trying to appease, or what's the word, endear themselves to this person who's mistreating them. And this is a very common pattern with women. Like, it's actually so bad that sometimes women date a good guy and they really don't know what to do with themselves. And that's, again, therapy. Therapy. We will not know what is right for us unless we go to therapy. And on the other hand, like, girls who are super into dangerous guys, Malaina, Ragdan Mapresa, that whole vibe, those women technically should be in therapy to help them understand why they're attracted to bad guys. But another thing, you see, the relationship chat will take forever because values, like, some people don't want to get married. Some people believe in friendship with benefits. Some people don't think casual sex is a big deal. Some people feel that if they meet the right person, they'll meet the right person. Some people feel like, if he's good to me, it's good enough. Like, he doesn't have to be, who can I compare him to? I don't really know a lot of peaceful men. He doesn't have to be like Jesus Christ, And other women are different. Like, okay, he can be a little bit abusive towards me because he's a genius. And I saw that with Kim and Kanye. Like, Kim really felt a lot of pressure that Kanye was really so musically talented. I need to say something. Okay, women, and I'm talking about women a lot. Please don't think I'm sidelining the men. With men, it's very hard to... what I should do? I should invite my brother onto this YouTube channel. Me and him are very similar in our mindset, but he can offer a really masculine perspective into these things, and he's someone I feel safe around, and I like his politics, although I do think he can be a bit religious. But yeah, I'd really love to invite my brother and my cousin, just so that we get a masculine point of view. I think that is important, and I do think that sometimes we're quick to leave men out of the mental health discussion because they also don't have that attitude of wanting to be part of it. And as someone who works in mental health, and obviously I have a digital platform about mental health, I should probably challenge myself to, be a little bit more inclusive in that regard. But for the women who aren't in the same situation as me, self-care, my darling. Self-care. Like, you gotta do what's best for you. And that is extremely difficult because women are not socialized to be individuals, and you won't learn how to do that until you see a professional or literally an act of God. It's very difficult. I'm very lucky. I had a wonderful mother. I went to psychology since I was 19, 20. I have a godmother who's we have a very good discipleship relationship. I have wonderful friends. And my godmother also has had mental health challenges. So she's not, those really restricted, oppressive Christians who don't believe in therapy, they only believe in prayer. So I feel like I've been really nurtured by women around me, and I really want that to extend to all the women of the world. Idealistic, I know, it's like someone asking, and what would you like? World peace. I'll say healthy community for women. And with feminism and the changes in society and people starting to understand rape culture, consent, abuse. We shouldn't be in a hurry to get married and committed. We should take our time with things. That's the one thing I'm learning the very hard way. With mental health, like relationships can cause depression and anxiety and the more psychotic based disorders and bipolar, and it's okay to see someone and to tell your psychologist or your OT or your social worker that, you know what, I'm heartbroken, I don't sleep, I cannot face the thought of another day, and it's not silly. Relationships are so powerful, guys. Someone was telling me that love can really achieve anything, because if you think about it, if my mom and dad didn't like each other, I wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be doing this work. So there's definitely a lot there. Like, relationships are a huge part of human life. We have to consistently do the work. You can take advice from TikTok people if you want, but try to remember that not everyone has the same story as you. And try to remember that maybe this is a common thread in one part of America, in one part of a demographic. But here in South Africa, things are a little bit different. And like me, I know Lobola, ancestors, African spirituality is quite common, but like I didn't grow up in that kind of an environment. My family, and by my family I mean my mom and dad, we never slaughtered. We've never even acknowledged what people call the ancestors. We believe in Christ, and that has a huge difference in how I view relationships. And that's, one thing I've personally struggled with is seeing church couples, because it was very easy for me to believe God didn't love me because I didn't have this super godly, wonderful, buys flowers every week boyfriend. And these are the things we need to learn generally, no matter who you are. You need to learn mental health resilience. You need to learn how to be grateful. You need to know how to tolerate stress, how to tolerate anxiety, how to uplift or challenge, the things that are making your mood go down, how to renew your way of thinking. And you'll always need those skills no matter what. And great if you can apply that to relationships. And I do like what social media, especially TikTok has taught me a lot. But now I don't even, when I'm on TikTok, I just pass the dating advice because I just feel like, no man, like we are facing a lot. Like every few hours the electricity goes out and we're in the dark for 2 hours. That's hectic. This week I'm just busy with clients or patients I'm not usually seeing. I'm being challenged a lot in the career department. I was supposed to meet up with someone and he couldn't make it. I'm with friends. I'm battling depression and anxiety. Of course I feel better. I'm deciding what to eat. I'm deciding what's for dinner. Like, if someone who has lived your life gave you advice, I would not be suspicious. But even your own mother can be a little bit iffy sometimes. So it's very important to question what we internalize. Relationships teach people very hard lessons, and it sounds sore and negative, but I think sometimes we need someone to say, Shika, not everything's about you, or XYZ, you put people first too much, or you're a people pleaser, or also Some people have too much faith in men and too much faith in relationships. And I mean, I don't even know where to start with the housewife financial dependence topic, because genuinely speaking, I have so much trauma there that I can't even advise someone to do something. Like, I just personally, I would prefer to work, and I'm lucky that that I have, a degree that has skills that are needed. But like, some people really, they don't have the skills that they need, or they do have the skills, they can't find the job, or there's just many things affecting their ability to work. And you know what? Sometimes they need a man to survive, or they know they're in an abusive marriage, but like, they can't leave tomorrow. They just have to wait it out until the kids are out of school. And you see, this is what I said about exercising empathy, exercising open-mindedness. Like, we need to support each other, and to support someone is difficult when they're not an ideal victim. It's really difficult. Like, this is a very sobering thought for me. Like, me and my brother have this term where we say people are on flight mode. Basically, we mean that they are on autopilot. They have become so desensitized to their problems, they literally don't think about them. And they do that to survive. Like, can you imagine if you just got married, you moved to Northern Cape to be with your husband, and then now you're having troubles, and he's with his family that side, your family's in Gauteng, and maybe they can't travel that side as much, and you realize after a few years that you need to get out of that marriage or relationship, and you really can't. So you throw yourself into being a mom and into being a career woman. And 20 years later, maybe when you finally divorce him, you'll sit back in therapy and think, I guess I didn't really think about it at the time. And the thing that psychotherapy does, it forces you to think about the bad things. That's why people can be quite valid in saying, I'm not ready to start therapy, and they're right. Like, there's just too much going on. In terms of preserving our mental health, I use rescues, natural anti-anxiety. I pray. I try to ride out the lows. I try to visualize my life and my dreams and my goals, and do it genuinely and authentically. That's tough for me. Like, right now I'm building a practice in Pretoria North in Atteridgeville, and like, sometimes you meet someone and you fall so madly in love, and maybe he lives in Witbank, and you really can have the temptation to imagine a Witbank life. And when that relationship doesn't go that well, you are left with the pieces. I'm not saying we shouldn't dream with our partners, but let's learn to dream for ourselves first, or for ourselves in some regards. Like, it's very difficult to resist the temptation of centering relationships, especially romantic relationships. Be romantic with your friends, with your parents. Show love. Explore your own love languages. Do you like going out on dates? Take yourself out on a date. Write your mom a love letter. Help your dad with a chore. Help your siblings. That's the thing. Be kind to your siblings. It's difficult because they're very annoying. But like, be kind to your siblings. Give them a chance. Give them grace. Have hobbies. Talk about your relationship with people you love and trust. See a professional. Like, those are the best things I can tell you about relationships. Some people will be like, like, guys, it gets really lit. Like, some people will be like, oh, like, especially Uber drivers. Oh, what do you do? I'm an OT. Oh, OT, cool. What's OT? And you have to explain. Well, I actually should explain now. OTs are occupational therapists, are people who help you become more functional in your day-to-day life. You can take that as big or as small as you like. For example, if you have a stroke and one half of your body doesn't work, you need to learn how to use a wheelchair, you need to balance, you need to know how to get dressed using one hand, you need to know what exercises you need to do to activate those muscles, or if you can't prevent contractures or stiffness, OTs help with that alongside physio. Let's say you are working in a job, you have an episode of whatever, epileptic fits, dementia. It doesn't have to be mental health, you know. Maybe you break both legs and your spine. OTs assess that, you know, can you go back to work? You're depressed and anxious and you're in hospital. OT comes, they run life skills groups, socialization groups, sensory stimulation groups to help with your mood, your problem solving, to help you be more successful and functional. That's a quick summary. Anyway, as I was saying that, this one Uber driver said to me, he's a pastor. He's like, this man came to him. So because I've mentioned men, just know, like, I also was very stumped and confused. I said, men confuse me. So this man comes to him and he's like, Pastor, I've met this woman. I love her so much. We've been together. It's just that I have HIV. It's undetectable. It's not transmissible. But, you know, she doesn't know and I want to get married. And I'm so worried that once I'm married, she's going to see my meds or she's going to have to know about my medical health. And, like, I don't want to lose her. And, like, they've been dating for a while, like 2 years. And me being me, not therapist me, she got me. I'm like, if you have secrets, why are you getting married? If you want to keep secrets, don't get married. And that's a very simplistic answer to a tough question. Yeah, like, to be honest, I didn't even think what kind of trauma he's had from the stigma, the rejection. And you know, I don't think HIV is a big deal right now in this moment, because I don't have skin in the game, you know. But, like, if I met someone who told me they're positive, you know, I might have a completely different reaction. So this person was in this place and I didn't meet them where they are. And, like, we can just say, man, you know, just tell the truth and stop being a sissy. But, like, rejection, abandonment, those are very real psychological fears. If this woman rejects him, what does that say about their relationship? Who's going to be his friend? Like, it's actually quite tough. And that's why with relationships, I always say, seek advice from people you admire. This is the thing I stay saying. Like, if you want to take advice from a person whose life's a mess, your life's going to be a mess. But if you want to take advice for someone who's been in a successful relationship, your chances are better. Not everyone can advise you about relationships. I'm sorry. That's why I'm low-key against this TikTok story. But yeah, guys, like, this topic intense. Like, like, I need a massage. It's so complex and difficult. Like, sometimes I'll see clients and think, you know, girl, I'm like you. Like, I don't know if you should break up with this man or not, but, like, the small thing we can do is express our needs. And even that is kind of an art form, you know, I'm learning. Yeah, so it's, professionals don't know it all, but, you know, if you had to choose, they might have something helpful to say generally for your mental health. You're gonna learn skills there. Like, couples therapy is not just for people who cheated on each other. Please, guys, it's not. Like, even if you're in a good place, it's a good thing to go. Surround yourself with people who love you. And this one's a very hard one. And you know, it's so hard for me to talk about this without bringing my religious viewpoints. You know, where I'm from, people who love each other do not allow or encourage each other to have continuously bad habits. And I mean, you get to choose. Are you going to be the friend that's always telling your other friend, don't drink, don't drink? Okay, guys, so that's my 2 cents regarding relationships. Like I said, please feel free to email me. We can always see how we can mobilize our resources to help you, to refer you to the right places. It's easy to get cynical about relationships, I understand. But psychology and psychotherapy, it's all very good for you, honestly. Seeing a mental health professional will help you heal if you're heartbroken, open up your mind, challenge your views, build community, build the life skills you need, communication, conflict resolution, and yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for now. If you have questions about relationships and mental health, please let me know. I'm thinking that we need to get a couple of voices on this topic, so it's not just me. I'm gonna try my best to organize that. But any other topics you guys want me to cover, I'm happy to do that. Like, there are many people in your life who genuinely love you and respect you and nurture those relationships, including romantic relationships, and practice gratitude. And yeah, that's all I have to say, guys. So please, once again, like, subscribe, comment, share, and let me know what other content you want me to make. It's all love from this side. I wish you guys the best, and Lina, pray for me, guys. Just keep me in your thoughts, and understand that even the most put together person can have relationship difficulties. Do not compare yourself with other people. Fight it. Fight comparison. Comparison is a thief of joy. Fight it. Okay, that's it. I'm done.